Hi everybody, welcome back to the 13 Haunted Projects of Halloween series. We are on week 3. I can't believe we're on week 3 already. It's going so fast. And I thought I would share with you how to create this super cute Halloween mummy gift tag. Okay, so let's get started. It's very similar to the greeting card we made a few years ago. So anyway, to get started, you're going to need a sheet of cardstock that measures 4 inches by 2.5. And you're going to want to open your paper trimmer. And what I did was I lined mine up on the 1.5 inch mark down below here. See if I can adjust my camera so y'all can see it. Okay, right here's the 1.5. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your right hand corner at the bottom and you're going to line it up in the 1.5 inch mark on the point. And then your top right hand corner is going to go past your cut line to the first black line that you see. Right past your cut line, and you're going to cut it. And what that does is it starts to create your tag. So you'll get a little tiny piece left over like this. And you've already started creating your tag. So what you're going to do is flip it over. And again, your bottom right hand corner, you're going to line it up at the 1.5 inch mark. This top corner is going to go past your cut line to meet up with your first black line on the opposite side of your cut line. So this point down at 1.5, this point line up, go over your cut line to the first black line and look at it, make sure you're okay before you make your cut. And you should have a little tiny piece. And this basically, when you cut like that, it just ensures that both sides are equal when you cut them off. Okay, so now that we have our tag created, what I went ahead and did was I ripped up a bunch of pieces of cardstock, about 1/2 inch. This was 1/4 inch. You know, you could do big and small pieces. But basically, I measured a long piece of paper about 3.25 inches. Because my tag is 2.5 inches wide, I wanted this piece to be wider. Because I'm going to be angling pieces, maybe cutting some pieces in half. So I just wanted it a little bit wider than my tag. And all I did was start at the top and just rip. Okay, so you're going to just keep ripping pieces. You want them to look tattered. Kind of like, you know, the mummy. And once you have a bunch of pieces, what I went ahead and did was I inked up, and hopefully you could see this, both sides of the strips with some frayed burlap. You guys can use, you know, whatever ink you'd like. Okay, just went ahead and inked them up, and then I set them aside and I just kept going and going. Alright, so those are your pieces we're going to use to make the mummy strips. Now, you're also going to need a black piece that measures 2 by 1. And what you're going to want to do is get some glue. I'm praying my camera battery doesn't run out. Looks like my battery's getting a little low here. You're going to go ahead and go about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch up from the bottom and just glue that piece on there. This piece is going to lay underneath all of your strips, and that's going to create your little mouth. So you see here I have a bunch of different ones. The mouth is different sizes depending on how I laid my strip. But that black piece is what creates your mouth underneath. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and stop at this point and change my batteries, and I'll be back to show you how to glue the strips on. Okay, batteries are changed. Sorry about that, guys. We are back. Okay, so now we have our mouthpiece on. What you're going to want to do is to start to glue your strips. Now you can just glue them at different angles, but you basically want to cover the whole front of the tag except for a part, like a section in here that's going to create the mouthpiece. Okay, so I'll show you as we get a little bit lower. Basically, I'm going to put some glue on the strip, and usually at the top I kind of go across. Just make sure that's down. And then I like to rip some of these strips in half, and then I'll ink this up, and I'll ink this ripped side up. And then just because you don't, you know, Mommy has a bunch of different strips on it, it's not perfect. You want it to look sporadic throughout. Sorry if you hear all the noise. My hubby is actually making us some dinner out there, and I just heard my phone battery go. Gosh, I'm not having good luck with batteries today. So you see how I'm just kind of layering them back and forth, back and forth. Now don't worry about this stuff that's hanging off, because when this is dry, we're going to turn it around and we're going to trim that off. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to angle it, and when you angle your pieces, you just want to make sure that you cover the tag. You don't want any part of the lower part of the tag hanging out, or the bottom part. And let's do this one. Okay, so now I'm getting to where the top of the black piece is. I'm gonna go, I think I'm gonna go straight across here. Not really, but kind of. Maybe I'll angle up a little bit higher than that. Okay, now for I'm gonna go below that black piece. And I'm just gonna leave a section open. So my corner here, I'm going to line up at this corner, and I'm going to see how much of a gap I'm going to leave for the mouth. I think that'll be pretty good. Glue that down, and then I'm going to find another like short piece that I can glue in over here to create the mouth. Do that. And I think I kind of want it that wide. And then I need a strip across the bottom. Now for your eyes, we're going to make these similar to the Frankenstein treat box. So you're going to need 2 white circles that measure a 1/2 inch. You're going to need 2 vanilla circles, like the vanilla cardstock we're using here. You're going to need 2 of those at a 1/2 inch. And then you're going to need 2 black circles that measure a 1/4 inch apiece. Now, let's let this tag dry a little bit before we trim it, and we'll put our eyeballs together. Get my white Jelly Roll pen and my tweezers, and I need a pair of scissors. So what we're going to do for the eyelids is we're going to cut them in half, this one circle in half, and I'm going to ink those up around the edges. And I'll probably flip them over and put some foam dots on them for dimension. And I've already cut some strips for those. And then the nose we're going to make similar to the Frankenstein box. We have our 1/2 inch circle, and we're going to get our 1/2 inch circle punch, open it up, and I have a set of tweezers here. I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to slide in my circle. Only a tiny bit I'm going to take off, if you guys can see that. little half moon piece I'm putting in there, a little tiny moon piece I just punched off, and it created that little rounded edge. I'm gonna flip it directly across and do the same thing. Stick it in, cut the tiniest piece off, and now I have two little half moons on each side to create my nostrils for my nose. I'm going to ink this up, and I'm also going to flip it around and put another foam piece on here for dimension. So let's set our nose and our eyelids aside, and we have our eyeballs. So I'm going to glue the black pieces on there. I'm going to glue them close to like the bottom here and have more of the white showing on top of the eye, so it looks like that. And then this part here is actually where we're going to take that foam tape off, is actually where we're going to lay our eyelid. Okay, so that's the eye, that's one eye, and we're going to do the same thing over here. A little bit of glue, glue closer to the bottom of the white circle, and then on this top part here we're going to put the eyelid. If I can peel this tape off. And line it up. You don't want any of that white showing above that, you know, eyelid part there. Okay, so those are our eyes and nose. And now that we have those created, just so you know, for this long piece here I have in the back, and that's so that it can be hung onto a gift bag or a package, and it can be flipped around so you can see who it's to and who it's from on this side of the tag. So this piece here I always cut at 16 inches, and I tie it around this piece of ribbon here. This piece of ribbon here I cut at 5 inches, and then my twine bows, I have this natural twine and I have this black and white twine. These two pieces I cut at 10 inches, and I made myself a bow with both of them together. Okay, and then I'll show you how I loop it in, how I tie my twine in the back so it can be tied onto a package and it could just hang, and then I glue my bows in the front. Okay, so I'll show you how to do that then. But for right now, I just wanted to give you the sizes so you knew. And then here's my piece here. We're going to turn our tag around, and this is the part where you want to be real careful and make sure you just trim it and do not cut into your tag. We're just going to go right along the edge and trim off the excess. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp my to and from sentiment on the back. And that comes from a stamp set right here. It's the Friendship Jar Holiday Fillers, and this is by Paper Tray Ink. Now, I originally found this stamp set from a YouTuber here on YouTube. Her name is Jill Norwood, and she is with Green Girl Cards. Pretty sure her YouTube channel is Jill Norwood. I'm going to post a link below this video so you can head on over and check out her channel and get inspired and show her some YouTube love and subscribe, because she does amazing work, and The tags that she makes are absolutely gorgeous. She also makes cards and stuff too, so head on over, check her out. And also when she makes things, she tells you where, you know, what she's using, where she got it from, and this is the stamp set I got from watching her videos. So definitely want to head on over and check her out. Okay, now before we glue anything on, what we're going to want to do, but that's how it looks. Okay, I'm going to flip it over, and I have my To and From sentiment, and I just use my Stays On black ink, which I'm probably going to have to buy some more of this soon because I have really been using this up. And it kind of went in the middle here on the left side of the tag. Okay, I mean, you don't have to do that. That's just what I did, so I thought I'd share it with you. I'll set that aside, and then we're going to want to punch our hole in. So you want to go in the center of the top part of the tag, line it up with your hole punch, and create the hole. And then I take this 5-inch piece of ribbon. It's like a black and cream plaid I purchased, and it has like a little bit of gold in it. Isn't that pretty? This was from, let me see if I have it out. I could show it to you. Here we go. I got this last year, Maker's Halloween Decor brand. I'm not sure if this was Joann's or Michael's. It was Joann's craft store. But I got it on clearance, so that was a deal right there. Sometimes I try to wait till the end of the season, but it's not always a good idea because when there's really nice ribbon, sometimes it really gets bought up fast, and then there's nothing left to clearance. Okay, so when I glue mine, I don't tie a knot or anything. You guys can do whatever you want. But I make like a little V here. And peel this back. I'm going to put a little dot of hot glue here. And then just kind of angle that up. Hold that there a second. And then I'm going to flip it and pretty much do the same thing. Little tiny dot, glue. I just like it because then it keeps it in that V shape for me, at least for this tag. Do it differently with others. Okay, so now my 16-inch piece of twine, I want to make sure I put it around the front. Kind of fold it in half, put it around the front here, and then I'm going to flip it over. Just make sure these are even at the top, and then I'm going to tie a knot right at the base of that ribbon. Just make sure when you tie your knot, your ribbon still looks good, and then I'm going to tie another one. I kind of make it like a double knot, so it's nice and secure, and then that's ready to tie on to some packages. And then I'm just going to flip it over, and I'm going to cut some tails here. And that looks trim this one a little bit more. I always like that one shorter for some reason. And then I'm just going to take some hot glue of my double bow here and place it. I'm going to glue it right across that twine that I tied on for the back. And then I'll trim these tails off so it doesn't get in the way of our eyeballs. usually when I trim my tails to get the length that I want, I push them out, and I don't usually like them just a tiny bit longer than the loops that I made. And that's about it. And that's how I measure that. Okay, so then the next part, before you glue anything, you pretty much just want to place your eyeballs and your nose on your tag and see where you're going to like it, where it's going to lay. And that looks kind of cute like that. I'm just going to peel this back off. Oh gosh, I think I peeled the glue part off too. Let me add a little hot glue to that. Not the first time I've done it. Okay, let's put the nose on. And glue an eye. And I'll show you how to... see. Yeah, that looks kind of cute. And then I'm going to use my jelly roll pen to draw on it. And I like to just make a little dot and a little moon. So basically you're going to create a little dot here and then a moon, like a little crescent line there. Same thing over here. You could just put 2 dots. You could just do a little crescent thing. Whatever you like. I just like to do that. And then I have little things I cut out. I stamp them. Little tags. And that's going to get glued on the bottom here. And that little Happy Halloween sentiment that I stamped came from this American Crafts stamp that has Happy Halloween, Trick or Treat, Halloween Boo, then there's a bone and 3 pumpkins. So I'm getting a lot of use out of this year, which is nice. But anyway, that's how we create our tag, guys. So I hope you have a lot of fun creating yours, and if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching, take care, and happy crafting.